How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. On the lathe today we have this piece of willow. There's a bit of rot going on in the middle. Bark's looking a bit funky. It's probably about 12 inches corner to corner and about 4 inches deep. I was tempted to do a bowl with some bark on the outside, but the bark was pretty loose on this, and then I was pretty sure it was going to fall off, so I turned it away. So here we are, just roughing it down to round. It wasn't quite the full outside of the log, it was kind of bigger one side than the other, so I had to take away quite a lot of the back of the log to get a square surface to work from. I'm not sure how long I've had this wood, but it's quite dry. It's quite a soft wood. It seemed to turn quite nicely though. So at this point I'm just chasing a few flat spots, getting it down to the final diameter. Turning at 1400 RPM, half-inch standard grind bowl gouge. Which, if you've watched a few of my videos, is really the only tool I ever use, apart from the parting tool obviously. So again, we had a bit of a funky area on the back, and I'm just chasing that away, getting ready to put my mortise on the back of the bowl here. So here is mortise number 1 going into the back of the bowl, and I had designs for putting some kind of pattern on the inside. Again, if you've watched a few of my videos, you know I don't just do simple curved bowls. I like to have at least a couple of curves going on the outside of the bowl. So this one curves outwards from the foot and then inwards from the centre, the halfway point of the outside of the bowl. But I wasn't happy with the thickness of my mortise wall, so I turned away that one, flattened it off, marking out for another one. And in goes mortise number 2, and this time I got rid of the pattern on the middle, and because I was going to make this quite a thin walled bowl, what I've done is I've created well, if you look at the center of the bowl, that's the lowest point, so it actually curves to the bottom of the mortise, if that makes sense, just so I didn't sand through the bottom of it when I finished the bowl. Done that a couple of times. So I'm just establishing that curve from the foot out to the median point of the bowl. So here there's just a little bit of bark remaining in one spot, and I'm just chasing that. You can see it just on the top there. I didn't want that to come off at any point, so I'm just chasing that down and removing it. I'm getting better at this shear scraping malarkey. Not quite gone yet, just a little bit left. That's got it turned away. So now I've got the 80 grit pad on the sander, smoothing out those curves. What I haven't shown you on here is the stabilisation of the rotten portion of the outside of the bowl. So that was a super glue on a brush and just let it sit. So that's now sanded up to 1500 grit. Nice and smooth. Some Yorkshire grit going on. No safety t-shirt today. I've gone for the blue roll. There's no bark on this piece, so I'm not too worried about it disintegrating. Kitchen roll apparently is what I need to do, so stay tuned for the introduction of kitchen roll. We will see how that goes. Alright, so it's flip round now. And begins the hollowing process. Again, I'm still wary of the wood flying across the workshop, so slow and steady. I'm just bringing the front face here down to level before I even attempt any hollowing. I didn't fancy a catch on this one. The rotten areas of this were giving me a little bit of trouble with the hollowing process. So I was just taking it 2 or 3 mil at a time, just till I got past the worst of it. Kept adjusting my tool rest so I didn't have too much overhang. Through the worst of it now, so I can do some longer hollowing passes. I was aiming for a finished wall size of about 1/4 of an inch, and we didn't finish off too far from that. Using the carbide tool there to smooth out a couple of bumps in the side wall. And there we go, a couple of finishing passes. There's the old super glue and the brush. Quite thick stuff, that is. Back to the 80 grit pad, and through all the grits all the way up to 1500. It's the Yorkshire grit going on the inside. And it was a bit thick. I think it soaked up a lot of the wax, so I put some vegetable oil on my rag just to improve the viscosity of it a bit and finish off that sanding paste process. And then on with some shine juice. And there we are. Really nice grain in this piece. And some high contrast stabilised rotten areas, which are quite effective really. Alrighty then, here it is, a Willow bowl. Willow apparently is supposed to be very difficult to turn, or maybe it splits or something, but maybe I was lucky with the way this dried. It hasn't actually split on me, even though we've got a bit of rot in here which I've stabilised with the super glue. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a bit wibbly wobbly in places, but bring it a bit closer. The grain's lovely in there. You have to let me know what you think of this one in the comments. That's the side. Finished it up to 1500 grit, and then Yorkshire grit and Yorkshire grit microfine paste. And there's the bottom. I quite like these bits where the rot's been stabilised. It's interesting. There we go. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this project. Thanks to all my new subscribers that have come over from Phil's channel. Thanks very much for that. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.